This BMW has finally hit that point every cheap car owner dreads, the moment when a fun little project quietly turns into a real problem. And once it happens, every choice suddenly feels expensive. And like most cheap cars that start out as projects, once you rely on them every day, the small problems turn into real ones. So now I am staring at two bad options: fix it, or flog it. And the truth is, both are going to cost me one way or another. And it all came to a head at the latest test. The test did not give me one dramatic failure. Instead, it gave me two small problems at exactly the wrong time. The tire looked borderline at home, one of those things you expect to pick up an advisory for. But once the car was up in the air, the cut was clearly deeper than I thought. Not dangerous at that exact moment, but definitely not something you can ignore any longer. And then there is the rich running. It has been like that for a couple of years, and somehow it scraped through before. But this time the numbers were nowhere near where they needed to be. And once that happens, you know there is a deeper problem hiding underneath it. And here is what makes this whole situation so frustrating. This rich running has not just popped up out of nowhere. I have been chasing the cause for years, working through the most sensible fixes first. The oxygen sensors were the obvious starting point. They were still the originals, completely worn out, and the car kept throwing O2 sensor codes. So they were replaced. And the car did run better, but the codes came back, and deep down I knew they were a red herring. Then the catalytic converter started showing its age. Again, the original part. So the cat and the exhaust manifold were replaced together because both were tired and holding the engine back. That cleared a few issues, but it still did not get rid of the rich running completely. And just to rule out one last possibility, I replaced the mass airflow sensor. The one on the car was still the factory unit, and I would occasionally get the odd mass airflow sensor fault. It made sense to change it, and it did tidy up the throttle response, but it did not solve the core problem either. And that is how I ended up here. After replacing the oxygen sensors, the mass airflow sensor, the catalytic converter, and the manifold, the rich running finally has nowhere left to hide. With all the supporting parts sorted, the only thing left that can cause this kind of behavior is an injector. At least one of them is not doing its job properly. But on a car this old, replacing one injector often means committing to replacing all of them sooner rather than later. And that is where the cost really starts to snowball. And this is where the situation gets awkward, because neither option feels straightforward. If I fix the injector properly, it is not just a case of buying one part and being done with it. These cars are old now. If one injector is playing up, the others are usually not far behind. So you are stuck with a choice: gamble on replacing a single injector, or pay for a full set and hope nothing else starts acting up afterwards. A single injector might fix it, or it might just expose the next weak one in the chain. A full set is the safer option, but it is a lot of money for a car that is worth so little on paper. And that is the part that stings. Then there is the tire situation. I could replace just the one with the cut, but that leaves me with 3 mismatched tires of different brands and ages. And with a car like this, that never ends well. To sort it properly, the BMW really needs a full set of tires. Another cost on top of everything else. And it is awkward timing, because I have already done the expensive jobs this year. The timing chain, the radiator, the brakes, all the stuff that keeps the car alive for another year. So to be hit with another list of jobs straight after that is exactly what makes you question whether it is worth carrying on. And this is why I am stuck. Because on one hand, I want to fix it. I have already put real money and real time into keeping this BMW alive. The timing chain, the radiator, the brakes, none of that was cheap, and none of it was optional. Walking away now feels like admitting defeat after doing all the heavy lifting. But on the other hand, this is how cheap cars get you. You fix the big jobs, you feel like you are finally ahead, and then the smaller faults start creeping in just fast enough to pull you straight back down. So I am genuinely torn. Fixing the injector and buying a full set of tires would probably keep it going for a while. But if the next injector goes, or something else decides to show up next month, I am right back where I started. And that is the point every cheap car owner reaches eventually, when fixing it and selling it both feel like the wrong choice. So I want to hear what you would do in this situation. Have you had a car that hit this point? Did you fix it and carry on, or did you cut your losses and move on? Drop a comment below and let me know, because this is one of those decisions that could genuinely go either way. I will give you an update in a future video once I decide what to do next. For now, the BMW is parked, the list is sitting in front of me, and I am weighing up both options. Thanks for watching, and if you want more honest advice about cheap cars, hidden costs, and real-world ownership, make sure you subscribe. And if you want something to watch next, the video on screen dives deeper into the real costs of running older cars. It is well worth a look.